Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and today is going to be a video like I did a few months ago with a Grand Seiko. I was selling a Grand Seiko that I had purchased for the purposes of solely doing a watch and learn on it. I was not enamored with the watch, although it was beautiful. So I figured, I'll do a YouTube video and just try to show people what the watch was all about at the same time. It was kind of a sales pitch. If you want to buy it, you can buy it from me. So today, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I've got another Grand Seiko. It's not one of mine though. It's from a friend of mine. He is selling it to finance the purchase of a Hublot, and I can't talk him out of it. People do whatever they want to do, but more power to them. So I'm trying to help him sell it, and I figured, again, let me put it on the channel, educate you guys about some of the other Grand Seikos out there, because it's a diver. I thought that was really cool, and maybe help this guy flip the watch and get him into his current grail. Anyway, we will head on over to the table now, and we'll check it out. So without getting too much into the packaging, the watch is being sold full kit, tags, box. You got this tremendous Grand Seiko box with another box inside, an operating manual that looks like a mini encyclopedia, but I think I went over a lot of that packaging on the other Grand Seiko video. So I want to skip this stuff and get right into the watch itself. So the watch in question is an SBGA031, made in Japan, Grand Seiko Diver. The list right there, 6,700. Don't mind a little bit of watermark on the label. I actually cleaned the watch and, like an idiot, left the tag on. The tag's not waterproof, apparently. But this is the watch, so this is what we came to see, so let's get into it. So this is a watch from 2015. The production date on the back is, I believe, September, somewhere around the end of 2015. So it's been worn for a couple of years. It's certainly used. It's got signs of use on it and scratches, and we'll see that as we do the flip and turn for the camera. But besides trying to sell the watch, I'm trying to do some education and show you some things that normally I wouldn't have access to on the channel, simply because, don't sell Grand Seiko. Actually not allowed to sell Grand Seiko as a store. They're only sold through really premier brick and mortar stores, and I'm just a lowly online guy. So the watch is 44 millimeters in diameter. It's 14 thick, and it's right around 51 or so tip to tip. It's got 22 millimeter lugs, and the watch is full titanium. Actually, I think there's some stainless steel used in the clasp, but it's titanium bracelet, titanium case. It weighs 140 grams. It's super duper light. When you look at it and then when you pick it up, your mind tells you one thing, your senses tell you another. Totally blown away by just the sheer size versus weight that you're looking at here. Extremely comfortable watch to wear. Maybe probably okay for my wrist. We'll see. Maybe a little bit big, but just certainly for you larger wrist guys, 7 1/4, which I guess is normal on up, is probably fine. It does have all the links on it. None of the links have been removed ever, and I'll show you the clasp and stuff in a minute. So we're on the size. We did the weight. So what's inside? It is a 9R65 movement. It is, of course, a spring drive movement. So let me unscrew the screw down crown. It's a 200 meter water resistant watch. Look how smooth that is, my God. Unbelievable. So spring drive, divers 200 meter. It's made in Japan, obviously. Tells the time, has the date, and a power reserve meter is right there. Hacks when I pull the crown out, the seconds hand stops. It is a 30 joule movement. Again, it is a spring drive movement, so the accuracy is about 1 second per day, less than 15 seconds per month. I do know that most people that own spring drives say that they get, within 4 or 5 seconds a month, which is absolutely, utterly amazing. Anti-reflective sapphire crystal. You can see in a lot of the light, the crystal doesn't even show. It looks like there is no crystal. I was making sure I went over everything. 72-hour power reserve on the movement, which is great, and you do have a power reserve meter, so as you wind it, it goes up, and through the whole day of wearing, you'll get a full power reserve, and you could take it off for a couple of days. So what is special about Spring Drive? Well, like I said, I did a watch and learn on this, and you should certainly check it out. In a nutshell, or in short, you wind the watch, it winds a spring. That spring then uncoils, like in a conventional watch, but then here's where it gets a little bit different. It uses the energy from the spring to run a generator. That generator creates some kind of electrical current. The current is used to power a circuit. The circuit is used to check a quartz oscillator reference, which is a fantastic quartz crystal grown specifically for the Spring Drive line, or the Grand Seiko Spring Drive line. And there is a glide wheel that is constantly being monitored for speed, and it is letting the seconds hand literally glide. Look at that. It's not ticking. It's just sweeping, and it's monitoring that. I forgot what it is, something like 8 times a second or something. It's checking it against that quartz reference, and it's keeping time with quartz accuracy, but again, biomechanical movement. Super cool. It took Seiko hundreds of patents to develop, decades in the making, the whole 9 yards. So dive watch, air diver, if you will. It's, certified for scuba, ISO. Beautiful bezel. I believe it's ceramic. It certainly looks like it. Great action. I had mentioned screw down crown, full titanium, Grand Seiko branding. Let's flip it over to the back. So I'm not hiding anything here. You can see the serial number if you want. It's September 2015, made in Japan, air diver 200. Solid screw down back, of course, but just very solid. You can check it out. The Grand Seiko badging on the back. And then I'm just going to go over the watch real quick so you can check out just the condition of it. We'll get to the bracelet in a minute. Quick release pins for the bracelet. Don't think I mentioned that in case you want to swap it. So here's the bracelet itself. Bracelet's in decent condition. It's got the normal scratches you would expect from normal use. Solid titanium bracelet. I couldn't believe this. I was actually I measured the bracelet to make sure it was 22, and my caliper showed 22. But I said, you know what? Let me go to the Seiko parts site and just make sure. I went to the parts site. If I want to buy this bracelet and sell it to you, assuming I could get it, it would cost you roughly $1,500. The links are about $150 each. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness. So it's extreme high quality. I'm pulling it. There's no stretch. High quality bracelet. And look at the clasp. So Grand Seiko branded, of course. Normal scratches you expect from desk diving. Flip up, double push button opens. And yes, it is a ratcheting clasp, and there's water from when I just washed it. So ratcheting clasp, you push this back, and it slides in and out. Can't go out any further. You can push it in, so you can you deploy it like that. You put it on. It's over your wetsuit, and then you can push, and you get the exact sizing you want for over a wetsuit. But ratcheting clasps are on a lot of watches. Strapcoat, I believe, sells some bracelets like that. The Orient Saturation Diver had it. Let's check out the Loom and see how the Loom works out. We are, of course, no strangers to luminescence. It looks good. You can see it's fairly bright here. Check that out. But very easy to see, very easy to read. It glows like a Seiko would expect, and the pip at the 12 gives us our registration point. So like I said, this watch is being sold, and the purpose of this video primarily is to sell it, and then secondarily to teach you guys a little bit, and I'm even teaching myself more about Grand Seiko, because I guess a lot of times we think Grand Seiko, we think snowflake and dress and all this, but there's a whole nother side to it, of course. Dive watches, and by no means should these watches be discounted at all to rival against, I would say, some of the great Swiss brands that are probably in your head. So the watch retails for $6,700. That's in the full titanium suit, of course, and that is brand new. I'm looking for $4,500. If you're interested, just shoot us an email through the website. I'll link to the website down below if you don't know who we are. We are LongIslandWatch.com. Send us an email, and if it's still available, I will let you know. The last Grand Seiko I did sold in like 18 minutes or something crazy like that. Well, will this one go? We'll see. We will find out. But let's throw it on the wrist real quick before we wrap this one up. So the guy who wore it had tremendous wrists. So he had no links removed. I would need like 3 or so removed. It's crazy, but there it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. The tip's not bad. It reminds me of, I would say, one of the last watches I reviewed, which was the same lug-to-lug length, I guess, as the that Alpinist that new Alpinist, the SRPC model. But it fits nice. It might be a little bit big for me, but it would certainly be at home easily on an average wrist. My puny wrist, maybe not, But it's all a matter of what you like, not what everyone else thinks. I like to say that often. Buy what. Don't ask, is this watch too big for me? Buy what you like, and don't worry about what everybody else thinks, and then you'll stay happy. I was going to wrap it up here, but then I realized I didn't do a close-up of the dial. It's a lacquered dial, or it's a shiny dial, so there's really not that much actually to see, but you can get close in, and you can see the detail, the work, the alignment. Obviously, everything is extremely spot on. The applied markers, as I rotate it slowly. I mean, at this point in this price zone, and look at that seconds hand. You expect nothing less than perfection. And here, granted, you should get perfection. And, Seiko delivers that perfection. Check that out. Look at it. And the seconds hand is just absolutely mesmerizing. It's so cool, and it's super accurate. More accurate than most quartz. Most battery-operated, quartz watches. Again, there's no battery in here. Yes, there's a quartz crystal, but it's being used in an indirect method. It's being used as a reference for the mechanical portions of the watch to keep time against. It's almost like it's got its own internal secondary clock that it's referencing against. So this has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you a Grand Seiko Diver that's currently for sale. Please like this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. I know in the last video, when I sold a Grand Seiko, I actually turned off comments. But this time, I do want to hear what you guys want to say, so look forward to it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.